Recently I was asked to rank the 5 biggest discoveries for the past decade, and I put trabecular metal amongst them.
The technology that ultimately evolved into trabecular metal material was originally designed for NASA as a filtering material to protect jet engine intakes. The elemental metal tantalum was applied molecule by molecule onto an open cellular matrix, creating a highly porous biomaterial with a structure amazingly similar to cancellous bone. Although it didn't work in aerospace, scientists soon realized the incredible impact that trabecular metal might have on the medical device market. It was porous like bone, strong but flexible, incredibly durable, and since it was made of elemental tantalum, it was extremely biocompatible, all of which made it ideal for orthopedic implants.
I had a resident who was at Howard University, and he'd also been on Wall Street. And he says there's this new exciting material that's out there and you ought to be using it. It was big fun to put it in. Because the resident and I would fight about it because who's going to hammer it down and watch it to sit there stable as it can be.
Generally when surgeons first see trabecular metal, they kind of look at it and they say, well, okay, how is it different? And then they begin to pick it up and they look at it a little bit more closely. They hold it in their hands and you can see the light go off and they say, okay, we've got something here.
We were transitioning from doing a lot of bone grafts and cementless cups and even some impaction grafting to try to make up large defects. And we switched over to TM during my training, and the results were really quite amazing given how bad the bone defects were.
The initial feel that a surgeon gets and the confidence that they get knowing that they've used trabecular metal to solve the fixation problem is a big deal.
Because of its properties, which I believe is osteoconductive, allows the reconstruction of very complex cases in which there is no bone or minimal bone.
We progressed technology from an on-growth phenomenon to an in-growth phenomenon, and actually incorporating and coining the term osseoincorporation, which is a combination of on-growth and in-growth.
I think it's important that the orthopedic industry realizes that while surgeons may be the obvious client, the ultimate client is always the patient. And in my opinion, it's the patients that have really benefited most from trabecular metal.
When you go through the trabecular metal tour, you actually can see how unbelievably complicated this product is to make, to manufacture, and to machine, to be able to get onto these very small parts.
The beautiful thing about coming to the trabecular metal facility for courses, then you go right into the lab and you actually get to work with the instruments and implants with a world-class faculty member and really see how the right way to use the material is, how to use these implants correctly.
Everybody has their aha moment here where they have not used this before or they have used it 100 times and it's still, you see that glimmer in their eye and you know that what you have just done is going to affect them for their entire practice.
If you look at outcomes that have been published, a lot of people that use trabecular metal are at academic institutions and they've published great results in patients who we haven't really had a good solution for in the past because of the massive bone defects. And those reports and word of mouth has really, I believe, helped trabecular metal grow.
As the clinical data has come out, surgeons have been more confident using this product on a regular basis on their primaries, and we've seen the results have been tremendous.
I think Zimmer has a distinct advantage because it has longevity with this material. It shows the interface has done what the scientists said it was going to do.
Look back over the last 15 years and we've been very fortunate to be involved with the development of not only the material but ideas that developed out of our revision practice and how to try to do a better job for patients, which is what it's all about in the end.
We work with our surgeons who come up with fantastic ideas every day because they're in the OR. They see how this material is utilized and they say, wow, I've got a really huge need for an application with trabecular metal to do this.
It's incredibly rare to find a technology that has this kind of potential, and that to me is the Trabecular triumph.
The Trabecular triumph for me is going into the operating room with a surgeon and providing him with an implant that I know he feels confident that he can put into his patient.
I also am a patient and had a total hip replacement last year, and I wouldn't have anything else put in my body other than trabecular metal.
When you see actually your own patients come back and they're happy and they're hugging you, you know at least part of that had to do with the trabecular metal.
Up to now I have more than 15 years experience, and my patients are very happy. For the first 124 cases of trabecular metal monoblock caps with a minimum follow-up of 13 years, we had no revisions.
We've had a phenomenal ride and a phenomenal experience, and our patients have been the ones who've really benefited from that.
We've helped so many patients who may not have had options.
These are patients who'd previously been wheelchair bound for a number of years, who are now out and about doing things that they really never dreamt that they'd be able to do. That for me is just the greatest thing about it.
That's
Trabecular triumph.